Good evening, friends, and my dear students. Today, we are going to start with a new point, that is Lorentz transformation equation. In last lecture, we discussed about the Galilean transformation, Newtonian relativity, a frame of references, and so on. Now, we are going to extend that topic and we are moving towards a Lorentz transformation equation. Before starting this Lorentz transformation equation, we first know about what is the use and why we are using a Lorentz transformation equation instead of Galilean transformation equation. Let us suppose when two inertial observers look at a common event, their measurements of a distance and time are related by transformation equation. As we know, we discussed in Galilean transformation. Usually, we use a Galilean transformation equation. However, the Galilean transformation are not comparable with the postulates of special theory of relativity. It can't predict that the speed of light is a constant. It also can accommodate relativistic phenomena like length contraction, time dilation. Length of any object get contracted, time get dilates. That kind of phenomena cannot be explained with the help of Galilean transformation equations. For this reason, Galilean transformation needs to be a replacement with a new set of transformation equation that will be compatible with special theory of relativity. These are called as Lorentz transformation equation. Before starting this Lorentz transformation equation, we will discuss about the postulates of special theory of relativity, as we discussed in last lecture also, but just review. As we know, there are two postulates of special theory of relativity. Special theory deals with the problem in which one frame of reference moves with a constant linear velocity relative to another frame of reference. On that basis, he produced two postulates. First postulate was the laws of physics are the same in all inertial frame of references. It means what? The first postulate expressed that it is impossible to perform an experiment which measures the motion relative to a stationary ether. No unique stationary frame of reference can be discovered. Since there is no favored rest frame of reference, all systems moving with a constant velocity must be on equal footing. We cannot discuss absolute motion, we can discuss only relative motion. That is why the laws of physics are the same in all inertial frame of references. Then second postulate, the velocity of light in free space is constant. It is independent of the relative motion of the source and the observer. We know that the velocity of light is not a constant under Galilean transformation, but according to the second postulate, the velocity of light is the same in all inertial frame. Thus, the second postulate is very important, and only this postulate is responsible to differentiate the classical theory and the Einstein theory of relativity. That is why we can differentiate a Newtonian relativity and Einstein's relativity. Now, to overcome the drawbacks of Galilean transformation, we have to understand and we have to study the Lorentz transformation equation. Okay. Let us start with a Lorentz transformation equation. In this Lorentz transformation equation, we are going to transform S frame coordinate with S prime frame coordinate. Now, how we can transform that S frame to the S prime frame or S prime into the S frame, that we have to derive by using some simple laws or simple physical equations or some mathematical formulas. For that, we have to introduce a new transformation equation which are considered with the new concepts of the invariance of light velocity in free space. The new transformation equation were discovered by Lorentz, that is why we called as a Lorentz transformation equation. Consider a two frame of references S and S prime having origin O and O prime. A system S prime is moving with a constant velocity v relative to system S along the positive x direction. There is no variation along y as well as z. Means our object is moving along positive x direction only with a constant velocity v. Suppose we make measurements of time from the instant when the origin of S and S prime just coincide. Means at initial time t is equal to 0, O and O prime lies at the same point, that is why they coincide with each other. The light pulse produces at t is equal to 0 will spread out as a growing sphere. The radius of wavefront produces in this way will grow with speed c. After a time t, the observer O will note that the light has reached a point P. Having coordinate x, y, z and t with respect to S frame, similarly that same event having coordinate x prime, y prime and z prime with respect to S prime frame. The distance of point P is given by r is equal to ct, because that light pulse moves with a velocity c, it takes a time t to reach at a point P. That is why the distance of that event with respect to S is equal to, or with respect to S prime is r, that r is equal to the ct. From figure you can say that r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. Okay. We know the value of r is equal to ct. We know the value of r, that is r is equal to ct. Therefore, if we substitute the value of r is equal to ct, therefore c square t square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. Let us, it is equation 1. Similarly, that event P observed throughout a S prime frame, it is at a distance r prime, and that r prime is equal to c t prime. Therefore, x prime square plus y prime square plus z prime square is equal to c square t prime square. Let us, it is equation 2. Let us, it is equation 2. Equation 1 and equation 2 must be equal since both observer are at the center of the expanding wavefront. Means at t is equal to 0, both lies at the same point. That is why we can equate equation 1 and 2, which is equal to x square plus y square plus z square minus c square t square is equal to x square plus y, x prime square plus y prime square plus z prime square minus c prime t prime square. As we know, our S prime frame moves along positive x direction only, that is why there is no variation along y prime and z prime. It means we can correlate y and y prime directly, z and z prime directly, y is equal to y prime and z is equal to z prime. If we substitute that value, then our equation becomes x square minus c square t square is equal to x prime square minus c square t prime square. As we move forward, in last lecture we discussed about the Galilean transformation equation. In that case, we are deriving x prime is equal to x minus vt. means we are going to correlate x prime with x. In that case, x prime is equal to x minus Vt in Galilean transformation. By using that concept, we are going to write a generalized form of equation which is correlate x prime and x, which is equal to x prime is equal to ax plus bt. We have to multiply x with some constant a, as well as we have to multiply t with some constant b. A physical event happens at the origin s prime, therefore x is equal to Vt, x is equal to Vt and x prime is equal to 0. There is no variation along positive x direction because O and O prime lies at a same point. If we substitute the value of x is equal to Vt and x prime is equal to 0, therefore equation 5 becomes 0 is equal to a into Vt plus Bt, or Bt is equal to minus AVt, or B is equal to minus AV, B is equal to minus AV, which is equation number 6. Now we know the value of B in terms of A, therefore x prime is equal to Ax plus Bt. Instead of B we have to substitute minus AV, because from equation 6 x prime is equal to A into x minus Vt, x minus Vt, or x is equal to A into x prime plus Vt prime, equation number 7. It is a inverse transformation. In transformation equation we are going to transform x prime into the x. In the inverse transformation we are going to transform x into x prime. Now pulse of light goes off at the origin at a since t therefore x prime is equal to A into x minus Vt, or x is equal to A into x prime plus Vt prime. If we solve transformation equation, we will get Ct prime is equal to A into C minus V t, or t by t prime is equal to C by A into C minus V. Similarly, by using inverse transformation equation, we are getting t by t prime is equal to A into C plus V by C. This is the main difference between the equation number 9 and 10. From transformation equation, we are getting the value of t by t prime. From inverse transformation, also we are getting the value of t and t prime. If we see the equation number 9 and 10, the left hand side of both equation is same. It means what? Obviously right hand side also equal. Therefore we have to equate the right hand side. If we equate the right hand side, then A into C plus V by C is equal to C by A into C minus V. If we take cross multiplication, rearranging this equation, C square is equal to A square into C plus V into C minus V is equal to A square. C plus V into C minus V is it means what? C square minus V square. Therefore C square is equal to A square into C square minus V square. A square is equal to C square by C square minus V square. If we rearrange this equation, A square is equal to 1 by 1 minus V square by C square, or A is equal to 1 by square root of 1 minus V square by C square, which is equal to gamma. Means a gamma is the component having value 1 by square root of 1 minus V square by C square. It is equation number 11. Therefore our transformation equation x prime is equal to A into x minus Vt. We know the value of A. If we substitute that value, x prime is equal to x minus Vt by square root of 1 minus V square by C square. This is equation number 12. We are getting the transformation equation, Lorentz transformation equation for x prime is equal to x minus Vt by square root of 1 minus V square by C square, or it is equal to gamma into x minus Vt. Similarly, in inverse Lorentz transformation equation, x is equal to a into x prime plus Vt. We know the value of a. X is equal to x prime plus Vt prime by square root of 1 minus V square by C square, or which is also equal to x is equal to gamma into x prime plus Vt prime. This is inverse Lorentz transformation equation. Equation number 13. Now, x is equal to x prime plus Vt prime divided by 1 minus V square by C square. If we rearrange this equation, x into denominator term is multiplied towards x term, x into square root of 1 minus V square by C square is equal to x prime plus Vt prime. X prime is equal to x minus Vt divided by square root of 1 minus V square by C square plus Vt prime. Now, rearrange this equation, x minus Vt plus Vt prime into 1 minus V square by C square raised to 1 half divided by 1 minus V square by C square raised to 1 half. If we multiply denominator terms towards the right hand side, therefore right hand side becomes x into 1 minus V square by C square is equal to x minus Vt plus Vt prime into 1 minus V square by C square raised to 1 half. If we multiply x inside the bracket, it becomes x minus x V square by C square is equal to x minus Vt plus Vt prime into 1 minus square root of 1 minus V square by C square. Now, we can cancel x from both sides. Similarly, we can cancel V from both sides. If we simplify this equation, then we will get t minus Vx by C square is equal to t prime into square root of 1 minus V square by C square. Therefore, t prime is equal to t minus Vx by C square divided by square root of 1 minus V square by C square. 1 by square root of 1 minus V square C square by C square is nothing but gamma. Therefore, t prime is equal to gamma into t minus Vx by C square. This is equation number 14, which is also a transformation equation, Lorentz transformation equation. In this case, we are going to transform t prime into the t. In inverse Lorentz transformation, we are going to transform x into x prime, t into t prime, and vice versa. In inverse Lorentz transformation, t prime into t, x prime into x. Therefore, in inverse Lorentz transformation, t is equal to gamma into t prime plus v x prime by c square, v x prime by c square. This is inverse Lorentz transformation equation, equation number 15. Therefore, Lorentz transformation equations are x prime is equal to x minus vt by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, y prime is equal to y, z prime is equal to z, and t prime is equal to t minus vx by c square divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Or similarly, in inverse Lorentz transformation equation, x is equal to x prime plus vt prime divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, y is equal to y prime, z is equal to z prime, and t is equal to t prime plus vx prime by c square divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Now, these are the Lorentz transformation equation, and the Galen transformation equation we discussed in last lecture. Now, what is the difference between the Galen transformation equation and Lorentz transformation equation? That we have to understand. If or velocity of the s prime frame, or if we consider v is very less than the velocity of light, then a Lorentz transformation equation reduces to a Galilean transformation equation. That is it. By assuming a second postulate, we have to replace a Galilean transformation by Lorentz transformation. By using Lorentz transformation, we can derive Galilean also. Means we can use a Lorentz transformation equation in both frame of references, in both cases, in relativistic in case as well as in Newtonian case also. If v is very less than c, it means what, v by c is tends to 0, or 1 by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, gamma factor is equal to 1. If v is very less than c, it means gamma is equal to 1. If gamma is equal to 1 means what, x prime is equal to x minus vt, y prime is equal to y, t prime is equal to 2, and z prime is equal to z. It means by using this condition, or if we introduce one constraint, in that case our Lorentz transformation equation reduce into the Galilean transformation equation. This is all about the Lorentz transformation equation. Again, important steps in these derivations are, we have to consider a two frame of references S and S prime. S prime frame moves with a constant velocity v along x direction. On that basis, we are going to transform a equation then we have to equate that equations by using a Galilean transformation equation. We are going to write a generalized form of transformation equation, that is x prime is equal to ax plus bt. A and b are constant. Now from here, from equation 5, my aim is to find out a and b. First, by using first condition, if x is equal to vt and x prime is equal to 0, then we will get b is equal to minus av. If we substitute that value, then our x is equal to a into x prime plus vt prime. This is inverse Lorentz transformation equation. X is equal to ct and x prime is equal to ct prime. By using this equation, we have to find out t and t prime from Lorentz transformation equation as well as inverse transformation equation. If we compare that, we will get x prime is equal to x minus vt by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Similarly, y prime is equal to y, z prime is equal to z, t prime is equal to t minus vx, t prime is equal to t minus v, sorry, yes, no, it is right, t minus vx by c square divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Similarly, for inverse Lorentz transformation equation, x is equal to x prime plus vt prime divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, y is equal to y prime, z is equal to z prime, t is equal to t plus vx prime by c square divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Okay, this is all about the Lorentz transformation equation and its derivation. Now, after this Lorentz transformation equation, we have to solve some problems. That problems can be solved next lecture. If you have any doubt about Lorentz transformation equation, postulates of special theory of relativity, Galilean transformation, a frame of references, then you can ask me at any time. I will try my level best to solve, to give the answers of your doubt. Thank you.